Let's talk about the Isuzu MU-X, the first of its kind. Isuzu, a century-old legacy in the Asian automotive market, has a robust heritage. While known for its trucks, buses, and industrial engines, Isuzu has also made a bold move into the SUV segment with the MU-X. The MU-X is actually part of a bigger story. Back in 1990, Isuzu began working on a project called the MU. You may be familiar with some of the earlier models of the MU marketed outside of Asia, such as the Isuzu Rodeo, Opel Frontera, or Honda Passport. These cars were quite successful, but the MU-X's never made to Europe. One thing is for sure, the Isuzu MU-X has taken all of Isuzu's experience in building tough commercial vehicles and put it right into this SUV. First generation MU-X, as the predecessor MU, is still a joint project with GM, also being sold under Chevrolet and Holden brands. Exterior design. This car has a commanding presence, almost massive and undeniably powerful. The lifted suspension, substantial wheels, and sculpted athletic lines aren't just for show. In fact, the MU-X shares a striking resemblance to the D-Max, a truck that consistently holds its own against the formidable Toyota Hilux. The model you're looking at is a post-facelift version, updated in 2017, 4 years after its initial release. This generation was later succeeded by a completely redesigned second-generation model in 2020, featuring a distinct exterior and chassis. The Isuzu MU-X and the Toyota Fortuner share a common foundation, both built on sturdy pickup truck platforms. They're both made in Thailand and offer 3 rows of seats, accommodating up to 7 passengers. You'll notice a difference in their ride compared to typical SUVs designed for city and freeway driving. Their truck-based origins give them a more rugged feel, with a firmer ride and a more substantial build. Off-road performance. Off-road, the MU-X handles surprisingly well, regardless of whether you choose 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. The front suspension is relatively soft, while the rear is a bit more springy. You might experience some bouncing over bumps, but it's generally predictable and not overly jarring. On dirt roads, at speeds below 30-40 km per hour, it's quite comfortable. The suspension can be a bit noisy, but it's not overly bothersome. You won't feel excessively shaken or tossed around on rougher terrain. The MU-X body is built on a sturdy frame, a key advantage for off-road performance. The high ground clearance of 23 centimeters, combined with short overhangs at the front and rear, provides excellent approach and departure angles of 24 degrees and 25.1 degrees, respectively. The breakover angle of 19.5 degrees and wading depth of up to 60 centimeters further enhances its off-road capability. 4-wheel drive models, especially those equipped with a differential lock or LSD, excel in challenging off-road conditions. 4-wheel drive is selected by turning the dial to 4H. 4L mode is similar to 4H, but uses low-range gears to increase torque. You can shift between 2H and 4H at speeds up to 100 km per hour. The base model doesn't include electronic stabilization, but this higher-end version even has hill descent control. On-road performance. The MU-X drives quite well on paved roads. Driver and front passenger have no reason to worry. The suspension in the front is quite soft. The rear is a bit firmer, and of course, it will be the least comfortable in the back row. The high body tends to roll in the corners, especially at higher speeds. But the handling seems to be better than in the Fortuner. The steering wheel is not very sensitive when set in the middle position, and the car appears to be a bit sluggish. However, it should be understood that this is still a pickup truck derivative that is not designed to provide thrills on the road, but to get you to a destination reliably. It is neither fast nor exciting. Braking is good thanks to 4 discs and ABS. You will feel robustness, appreciate the convenience of manual selection of one of the 6 speeds of the automatic transmission. Inside, there is a bit of noise, mostly originating from the engine and air turbulence caused by the huge side mirrors. Interior and practicality. MU-X is still a pickup-based budget-friendly large SUV. This also means a different approach to interior design, materials used, equipment, and assembly quality. You have to be prepared for a slightly different standard compared to mainstream SUVs and crossovers. It's important to understand the narrow specific market segment they're made for and the compromises that come with it. The materials used feel a bit hard to the touch. Even with the synthetic leather, some surfaces might look a bit low cost and be prone to scratches. But don't worry, you'll get all the essentials in terms of equipment. Features like automatic air conditioning with vents for even the third row, a reversing camera, a touchscreen entertainment system with navigation, power windows, mirrors, and even an electrically adjustable driver's seat are all included. There's plenty of storage space throughout the cabin, conveniently located and easy to reach. Traveling in the first and second rows is comfortable, although the suspension can be a bit firm, and you might notice engine and wind noise. However, drivers and passengers generally find the overall driving experience more enjoyable than in the Fortuner. The third row is best suited for children, as legroom might be a bit limited for adults. Passengers will appreciate the thoughtful touches, like the extra handles on the door pillars that make getting in and out easier. You'll also find convenient the third row features like individually designed cup holders and storage. Luggage space, as you'd expect in a 7-passenger vehicle, is somewhat limited with all seats in use. However, this model includes a handy removable organizer that fits perfectly into the trunk floor. Folding down the third row significantly increases cargo space, and the floor becomes completely flat. And if you fold down the second row as well, the MU-X transforms into a true utility off-roader, capable of hauling large loads to even toughest remote locations. The spare tyre is mounted externally for easy access. Price at BEFORWARD. Similar as Isuzu MU-X, you can buy at BEFORWARD. The first generation RF model 2013 to 2020 starts from $17,800 US. Please check current prices and stock on the BEFORWARD website. Engine and efficiency. MU-X is offered worldwide with 4 engine options depending on the target market. One turbocharged 2.0-litre petrol engine and a choice of 3 diesel engines, 1.9, 2.5, 3.0 litre. The 3.0 DDI VGS 3.0-litre diesel shown here produces 175 PS and 430 Newton-meters of torque. Mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, it offers strong performance and decent efficiency. Average fuel consumption is around 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres in 2-wheel drive mode. The 65-litre tank gives a range of up to 820 kilometres. A 6 or 5-speed automatic transmission and 5-speed manual gearbox is also available. If you are inspired to choose the Isuzu MU-X as a companion for your off-road adventures and everyday cruising on the tarmac, check out our stock at BEFORWARD.JP, where you will find great bargains. You can also send your inquiries to top@BEFORWARD.JP.